Instead of reprimanding him, my mother said, "Stephanie, what did you do to provoke him?" And my only defense was my mother whispering in my ear, saying, "Honey, ignore him. Don't rile him up. He just wants a reaction." As if it were my sole purpose. The reason 6-year-old me existed was to not rile him up. It starts when we're 6 and ends when we grow up assuming the natural state of a man is a predator, and I must walk on eggshells as to not rile him up. Right, Mom? Rape culture is when through casual dinner conversation, my father says that women who get raped are asking for it. He says, "I see them on the streets of New York City with their short skirts and heavy makeup asking for it." When I used to be my father's hero, but will he think I was asking for it? Will he think I deserved it? Will he hold me accountable, or will he hold me, even though the touch of a man burns as if I were holding the sun in the palm of my hand? Rape culture is I shouldn't defend my friend when an over-aggressive frat boy has his hand on her ass because standing up for her body makes me a target. Women are afraid to speak up because they fear their own lives, but I'd rather take the hit than live in a culture of silence. I am told I will always be the victim, predetermined by the DNA in my weaker, softer body. I have birthing hips, not a fighter stance. I am genetically predispositioned to lose every time. Rape culture is when you were so ashamed, you thought it would be easier for your parents to find you dead than to say, "Hey, Mom and Dad, it wasn't my fault. I never asked for this. I never asked to be the target, to be weaker because I was born with 2 X chromosomes, to live in fear, to always look behind me, in front of me, next to me. I never wanted to be the prey. I never wanted to be something someone else feasts upon, a meal for the eternally starved. I don't know how to tell you to spit me out. I do not want to hear about the way I taste anymore. I am not food. I will not let you eat me alive." Rape culture is he was probably abused as a child, when he even has some form of a justification, and all I have are the things that provoked him. And the scars from his touch are woven of the darkest and toughest strings underneath the layer of my skin. Rape culture leaves me finding pieces of him left inside of me, shrapnel, a bone of his elbow, the cap of his knee, a shoulder. There is something so daunting in the way that I know it will take me years to methodically extract him from my body. And that twinge I will get sometimes in my knee 20 years later, proof of the past, like a tattoo I never asked for. Somehow, I am permanently inked. Rape culture is you can't wear that outfit anymore without feeling dirty, without feeling like you somehow earned it. You will feel like you are walking on knives each time you wear the shoes you smashed his nose in with. Imaginary blood on the bottom of your heels, thinking maybe this will heal me. Those shoes are your freedom, but the remains of a lifelong fight. You will always carry your passion, your heart, your absolute will to live, but also the fear and the guilt and the shame. I saved myself, but I still feel like I'm walking on knives. Rape culture is, Stephanie, you weren't really raped. You were one of the lucky ones. Because my body wasn't penetrated by a penis, but fingers instead, that I should feel lucky. I should get on my hands and knees and say thank you. Thank you for being so kind. Rape culture is he told you that after he finished touching you, no one would ever want you again, and you believed him. Rape culture is telling your daughters not to get raped instead of teaching your sons how to treat all women. That sex is not a right. You are not entitled to this. The worst possible thing you can call a girl is a whore, a slut, a bitch. The worst possible thing you can call a guy is a bitch, a pussy, a girl. The worst thing you can call a girl is a girl. The worst thing you can call a guy is a girl. Rape culture tells us that being a woman is the ultimate rejection, the ultimate dismissal of strength and power, the absolute insult. When I have a daughter, I will tell her that she is not an insult. When I have a daughter, I will look at her like the sun when she comes home with anger in her fist, because we are human beings and we do not always have to take what we are given. They all tell her not to fight fire with fire, but that is only because they are afraid of her flames. I will teach her the value of the word no, so that when she hears it, she will not question it. My daughter, don't you dare apologize for the fierce love you have for yourself and the lengths you go to preserve it. When the boys try to tell you to soften up, I hope you make them bleed with your edges. When the boys come with the intention of hurting you, my advice will always stay the same. You fight. My daughter, I am alive because of the fierce love I have for myself and because my father taught me to protect that. He taught me that sometimes I have to do my own bit of saving, pick myself off the ground, wipe the dirt off my face, because at the end of the day, there is only me. I am alive because my mother taught me how to love myself. She showed me that I am an enigma, a mystery, a paradox, an unfinished masterpiece, and I must love myself enough to see how I turn out. I am alive because even voiceless, beaten, and back against a toilet, I knew there was an ounce of me left worth fighting for, and for that, I thank my parents. When I have a daughter, instead of teaching her how to cover herself up, I will show her how to be exposed. Because no is not convince me, no is not I want it. You call me little lady, beautiful girl, pretty woman, but I am not any of these things for you. I am exploding light. My daughter will be exploding light, and you better cover your eyes.